In today's video, I'll be sharing how I construct scenes in my portrait photography. The main elements that go into this for me are lighting, color, and composition, so I'll mainly be expanding on these 3 points. Without any further ado, let's get into it.
One step back.
So the first location is down on the metro platform, and the main lighting sources are the tubes running through the ceiling. I like these types of lights when they sequence and file like this because they provide a soft, even light that looks nice on the skin. They also tend to burn a little bit cool, so I enjoy being able to play around with that later in post and adjust things however I see fit. Building off of that, the colorway for the whole scene is pretty analogous with varying shades of blue, minus some warmer spots from parts of the floor and some of the signs, along with Julia's skin tone and hair. But because the key color of the image is blue, it just helps Julia pop in the scene even more with that color contrast. And with the blue dominating the frame, we were able to maintain a moody, somber vibe, which is what we were going for the entirety of this photo shoot. So having that blue again really helped with that theme. And finally, the composition of the frame was pretty straightforward to me. Just anytime you're on any metro platform, you'll get those nice long leading lines from the tracks, which provides a ton of depth and also helps to make things more visually interesting. So we just try to play around with different angles and different setups, keeping this in mind, along with the color and lighting. And yeah, here are a few more photos we were able to create from this first scene.
Right there, yeah, hold that.
Next, we move to the ticketing area of the station. The main lighting source here is from the skylight in the roof with the sun pushing through the windows. Anytime you can get light coming in from a window, it's going to help diffuse it, which in turn makes it softer. Soft light is something I'm a fan of, so big plus here. And similar to the color shift with the lighting at the platform, because of the shade of glass in the interior as well, the whole scene is getting bathed in this beautiful soft blue color. Blue actually is the key color for all of our scenes today. As I stated before, we were going for a sad, moody vibe, and blue is a color that represents that to me. So yeah, we got lucky here. There are also some colors filling in the frame from the lights and signs in the background. Now, depending on the size, the color, and the shape of these things, I found they could be a nice subtle addition to the frame, or they could just be completely distracting and overtake the image. So that was something I needed to be mindful of as we were taking photos here, because I always wanted Julia to be the star of the show, so to speak, and I didn't want things to distract from her too much in the frame. As for the composition, there was nothing really set that I was eyeing. The main thing was to avoid those visual distractions I was just talking about, and then just work off of instinct, I suppose, and try to find just what felt right. It was a little bit of a balancing act actually, because I liked the busyness of the area. It had a definite energy to it, and furthermore, I think we make certain associations with train stations. They're just a place where a lot of goodbyes are said, I guess. So I wanted to be able to incorporate enough context where people could make that connection, but at the same time, not have it be too distracting. And yeah, this is actually where we made my favorite photo from the day. It was the thumbnail for this video. I think all the things I was talking about came together on this one, and I just love Julia's expression here. Yeah, lightning in a bottle. She nailed it. Finally, we end at the back entrance of the station. The lighting here is simply coming from the sun. It was an overcast day, so everything is getting diffused by the clouds and coming in nice and soft and even. And I want to mention something I think is important, and that is we aren't shooting into the overcast sky. I've found that while I like the quality of light on an overcast day, I often don't like seeing the overcast day in the frame, if that makes sense. They can be kind of gray and drab, and the highlights sometimes can go a little nuclear, so I often try to avoid including them in the image. Just kind of a side note there, but color-wise, keyed on the cool side once again, with the desaturated blues on the right side of the frame from the wall, and the blue pillars and blue sky on the left side of the frame. I'll be honest, of the 3 locations, this one I found to have the least amount of cohesion with the colors when I shot it straight on. For example, if you can see the chain from the aisle guards on the left, it's this bright atomic green that just stands out. So that's something in post I had to go in and adjust. Just little things like that that I would usually want to avoid in camera if I can. So yeah, but if we worked from an angle and Julia was isolated up against the wall, then there was a nice complementary color scheme that gave the frame a bit more balance and direction, in my opinion. And finally, the composition for this last scene, what I was seeing was very similar to the platform, where we had this nice long leading line running through the frame with the walkway, and pushed to the side when shooting against the wall. It was a bit more simple, kind of like a studio backdrop where you can let the model or the outfit just kind of shine and be the star. I kind of like mixing in these more basic scenes in from time to time just to mix things up. But for me, the highlight at this location wasn't so much a compositional point, but more of the mixture of subject and environment. It's monsoon season right now in Korea, so it's extremely humid and hot out. So this causes a lot of perspiration when you're outside. And I thought this mix of everything I just mentioned looked so lovely on Julia's skin. It gave this visceral, almost tactile nature to the frames. So by pushing in a little bit closer and just making sure we were able to see that, it made for some of my favorite photos from this last scene here. Okay, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you found the information to be helpful, and maybe you can use some of it when you're constructing your next scenes for your next portrait shoot. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.